Hi, I'm Brina.
And I'm Dee Dee.
And we're Mighty Moms to Owen and Tad, who are both on the autism spectrum,
We're going to share real, honest content and experiences
about what it's like to be a mom of a kiddo on the autism spectrum.
Between the two of us,
There
is
is
nothing
nothing
we haven't experienced.
We don't hold back, and neither should you.
Here we go.
Welcome to Mighty Moms Podcast, episode 11. I'm Brina.
And I'm Dee Dee.
And today we have guest Christy Baca with us. We're going to tell you a little bit more about her in a minute. Today we're going to talk about swim safety. So, and I know we've talked about this before on a few other episodes. I can't remember which ones, but we talked about how children on the spectrum are more likely to drown, more likely to be found near a body of water. They are just drawn toward water, and we've got some statistics that we'll share about that. But I know, speaking from personal experience, Owen, like, he would swim every day, all day if he could, and he just absolutely loves the water. In fact, he takes like several showers and baths a day if we're home. Is Tad the same way?
Yes, water is his go-to thing.
Yeah.
When you're bored, water.
I think it's just like very relaxing for them too.
Yeah, when you're stimulated, water. Like every type of sense that could be overstimulated, it's balanced.
Yeah.
It seems to be about water.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yes, because your skin is the largest organ of your body, and all of it has the sensory nerve endings. The water is satiating that need, that sensory need. Yeah.
And so that's why it's like
even
just
hug.
for anyone, even if they are neurotypical, feel like, you know, we do that for ourselves. Like if we've had a stressful day and we want to take a bubble bath or whatever. I think that's why like hot tubs exist, you know, so we can just like relax. And so I think that especially with all the like over sensor, you know, like they're just overstimulated.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation, I think, where they do elope and maybe do realize like their surroundings aren't familiar. And so then when they see water, that's familiar to them.
And see, we mentioned that in that podcast when eloping, it was the eloping podcast and why children want to gravitate towards water. And I always thought it's something they're familiar with and it calms them if they're anxious. And so that's why they gravitate to water, and that's why the statistics are so high on the drownings.
Yeah, and I looked up because I had heard some statistics, and but I didn't have them memorized. I wanted to read this, what I found on National Autism Association. So it says roughly half, or around 48% of children with autism attempt to elope from a safe environment, a rate nearly 4 times higher than their neurotypical siblings. So they already are like half of the kids on the spectrum attempt to elope. For some reason, they're always, not always, but a really high percentage of them found near or around a body of water.
Yeah.
It says also from the National Autism Association in 2009, 2010, and 2011, accidental drowning accounted for 91% of the total U.S. deaths of children with autism ages 14 and under. So when a child with autism died during those, the statistics taken from those years,
That's crazy.
91% of those deaths were from drowning. And so that in and of itself tells you how important it is for our kiddos on this spectrum to
have safe swim practices,
to be taught how to swim. You know, it's just something that they're going to do, you know, like I can't imagine like our lives without letting Owen swim in the summer. Like we are at the lake all the time, in the pool all the time. Like if we're not at the lake, we're in the pool. If we're not in the pool, we're at the lake.
Right.
Because it just,
water's his thing.
It's his thing.
Which is a lot of the kids on the spectrum. It's their thing.
And so it's just so important that we teach our kids how to swim. So today we have swim expert Christy Baca from Texas Swim Academy.
So exciting for you to be here.
She has all these acronyms behind her name, so I had to have her write them down so I could read them off. And just please correct me, because I know I'm probably going to mess this up. But she's certified in Swim Whisperer Adaptive Swim Instruction program levels 1 through 3. Certified trainer by OTPT, right? Am I saying that correctly?
Well, yeah, the Swim Whisperers program is a certification program that is done by an OTPT team.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the training that we receive is
an OT, occupational therapy, physical
physical
therapy.
therapists who have created methods and
Ooh,
have been training in these methods
neat?
for, I believe, over 21 years.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, they have some aquatic therapy experience
Yeah.
and are very well respected worldwide for their
Okay.
methods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
American Swim Coaches Association Level 2, U.S.
Masters.
Swim Coach. Sorry,
That's okay.
different handwriting.
Okay. Yeah.
Certified Special Education with BS in Interdisciplinary Studies from from Texas A&M.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
She's
So
an
welcome.
Aggie.
I'm an Aggie.
Welcome to the podcast.
thank
We're
you.
happy to have you.
Thank you.
What I know that swim's always just been a part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to take this extra step? And like, did you have someone that was close to you who had special needs, or did you have a certain client that you were working with who you realized, okay, this isn't going to be like working with a neurotypical child? What can I do different? How did that happen?
So prior to COVID,
Yep.
I had a bubble of families that I taught swim to their children. And as 2019 approached, my ADHD population and sensory processing population increased.
Wow.
And then I did actually have several children on the spectrum. And I, even with my special ed degree and, water instruction and experience, on the swim team and just adaptive personality, adaptive meaning the ability to adapt in my instruction methods.
Sure.
I felt very ill-equipped and like I wasn't doing enough for them. And I was not seeing much progress with what we were doing. And
Okay.
so the fall of COVID, I took some time and researched trainings and certifications in adaptive swim instruction. Literally Googled adaptive swim
Yeah.
instruction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and found the Swim Whisperers, Swim Angelfish, Cindy
Okay.
and Aileen, and immersed myself in their certification process and did levels 1 and 2 in a week. That was online training where they have extensive training with vocabulary and case studies and testing and those kinds of things. And then they require you to keep your certification up by continuing education within their program. And so then I obtained level 3. And then 2 years ago, I attended a in-water training where we had them come to Dallas and did some in-water hands-on practice. And then I had them come to Sherman last September to do some more training. What I've seen from obtaining that training and being a part of their world of knowledge and access to them as experts is my autistic students population has increased.
Yep.
And my ability to see progress and parent, I'm not going to say this right, but like parents are seeing the things that I talk about
Yeah.
that I've learned from the water instruction. But my population has grown,
Yeah.
and it's allowed me to better instruct in the water and create more safe instruction methods for these kiddos.
So
To where they understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where we can understand each other in the water,
Yeah.
even the nonverbal
Yeah.
kiddos, because you've seen me work with Owen, and I've had several nonverbal. I've had some that are partially verbal. I've had some that are verbal but have delayed development, and so their vocabulary, even though they're verbal, it would not be on age level. And so I adapt how we interact with our vocabulary in the water. And so just have seen such an increase in that population.
Yeah.
And then since I obtained the certification, more parents are coming. I created the name Texoma Swim Academy because I saw that my populations are coming from 5 counties.
Yeah.
And so not only did my population increase, but my special needs population
Yes.
increased.
I love that.
Yes.
I love
So,
that
yeah.
because as a special needs mom, it's hard to, especially in our area. And I think for a lot of like more rural areas or suburban areas, really it just depends on the area, because I've seen like even larger cities, Sherman to me, I consider a good sized city, and we didn't even have ABA therapy services until 2 years ago. So from my perspective, just like having that resource is huge.
Yeah.
Like that we have a swim instructor that's certified to help with our kids,
Yeah.
you know. Tell us about swim angelfish. Isn't that,
Yeah,
did
what
you say
is
that's
what
the
is
name of it?
angelfish?
Yeah, so Swim Angelfish is an organization that has created, it's an organization, it's a team of an OT, who is Cindy, and then a PT, Aileen, who created swim instruction methods for special needs children.
Okay.
And children, when I say special needs, they could be wheelchair bound, they could be, Rett syndrome,
Sure.
sensory processing, ADHD, all the way to Cat 6A, autistic,
Okay.
children. And they have created methods that they teach anyone who wants to
Yeah.
learn them that work in the water. It's adaptive
Love
swim
that.
methods. They also
Nice.
focus on, water safety. So in a little while, I'll, enhance a little bit more on that. But, they have acronyms that we use in our instruction methods that help us remember, points of instruction. But they're really big on creating safe swimmers,
Yeah.
water safe children, no matter their needs.
Yeah.
So they start with, we teach, face in the water, safe face submersion, safe entry and exit, safe taking side, where we teach the kids to, So Swim Angelfish is just that. It's Cindy and Aileen, and they are, they're global leaders in adaptive swim.
Wow.
Wow.
And just last year, I attended the ASCA Swim Association conference in Dallas, and it was impressive to see that there were over 200 ASCA coaches
Wow.
in a room.
That's so good, though.
Getting instructed
Yeah, I love
by
that.
yes, because they're able to instruct these coaches on methods that work with not just autistic children or children with severe special needs, but there are swimmers with ADHD,
Oh,
and the
sure.
ADHD population in sensory processing
Yeah.
is increasing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of their methods work all their methods work. But a lot of the coaches there were seeking advice on methods that work with these kiddos that come that are swimmers, but maybe need a little different instruction to help them. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like you work with nonverbal, and as a nonverbal
Yes.
autistic mother, do you see any increase in speech maybe when because I've researched that and I heard that it could increase their vocabulary in the water, maybe not outside of the water, but
Yes.
while they're in the water. Can you?
Yes, I
you've
do.
Seen that?
Yes, I had a student for 3 years, and last summer, my third year with him, he learned to roll over and float.
Oh.
So do what we call the swim, float, swim, which is our water rescue. And the third time he rolled over to a float, he said, float.
Oh.
And then, it was just so, and Dad heard poolside. That was so great.
Oh, I love
But also,
that.
you guys know with kiddos with autism, they love that sensory seeking is what we call it when they go underwater. So I would allow them some, intermittent breaks between instruction time to release.
Yeah.
And, going underwater is that pressure. It's like a big hug. And
Yeah.
he would go under, and he came up one time and said, underwater. And Dad was like, oh my gosh, he's never
What?
said that. Right.
I
So it's
know.
just impressive to me. Yes. And then I had a student with Cat 6A. We were learning how to jump in. And I said, hey, buddy, we're going to go down to the deep end. And he said, the deep end? Like, that was the first time he had used those 3 words
Yeah.
in context. And
I
Mom
love
was,
that.
yes. And there have also been parents who have texted me or called and said, hey, I just want to let you know we just left the pool, and my daughter or my son are saying words they've never said. They're just able to
Yeah.
express themselves more because there is a connection to the
Yes.
brain with that water exposure with all the nerves. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
there is a connection
Yeah.
to the brain.
I noticed
Yeah.
Tad's way more vocal. He's not saying words, but he's more vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Same.
while he's in the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because we're playing his jams, but no, we play the same jams in the house, and he's not as
Yeah.
vocal, but very, very vocal in the pool. So that gives me hope on getting him in the water
I
more.
agree
There's
with
a
that.
physiological response in the brain with the water interaction to your body, and that is part of that.
And
Yeah.
it, for me personally,
good. Yeah.
I love it. I've always swam.
I've always, and this is, take it with a grain of salt, but it's how I feel. I feel like it's spiritual. Like, I feel like water is just intended to cleanse us, soothe us, meet all those needs. And I know that, like, there's something to that, especially now that we
Yeah.
have boys on the
Yeah.
spectrum and we see them also have those responses to water. We're going to take a quick break and hear from a few of our sponsors.
Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by Wolf Chiropractic. Tad has been seeing Dr. Wolf for many years now. We believe that chiropractic care has helped with his sensory issues, pain relief, healed his scoliosis, and gives him an overall sense of well-being. Best of all, the staff works with us to ensure we never have to wait. We are in and out very quickly. For all your chiropractic needs, give Wolf Chiropractic a call at 580-931-3343. He'll get you all lined out.
Does your child need speech therapy, physical therapy, or occupational therapy? Visit thespottexoma.com to schedule an appointment today. The Spot provides speech, occupational, and physical therapy services to children and adults in the Texoma region. They operate with a patient-centered approach paired with parent and family involvement and training. They are eager to help you and your child build communication skills that will last a lifetime. So call 580-740-0205 or visit thespottexoma.com. Listen, my carpets used to be a struggle to keep clean. Between 2 boys and 2 fur babies, I was always cleaning up spills and stains. Then I found Ray at ChemDry. And basically, I've had him on speed dial ever since. So when you need your carpets, furniture, or even hardwood floors cleaned, call or even text ChemDry at 903-815-5811. Ray will get you all cleaned up.
We all need to take care of our teeth, and it can be extremely difficult for children with unique needs to care for their teeth due to the sensory issues. Dr. Taylor Markham and the team at Westside Family Dentistry can ensure you and your child's teeth are in tip-top shape. Give them a call at 580-924-1234 today to schedule your next appointment. CLC Fencing and Welding builds quality, affordable buildings and miscellaneous structures, from beautiful barndominiums to shop buildings and rustic cedar, wood, or iron fencing. They can do it all. We personally use them for all our fencing and welding needs. CLC Fencing and Welding serves Grayson, Fannin, Collin, and Bryan County areas. So if you're in the hunt for a great welder, give our friends at CLC Welding a call at 903-436-3888.
Founded, owned, and operated by nurses, Angels of Care Pediatric Home Health's clients are at the heart of everything they do. Proudly serving the medically fragile community since 2000, Angels of Care offers private duty nursing services, speech, physical, and occupational therapies, and respite care across the nation. We are also happy to announce we have started offering ABA services in Colorado. Please visit angelsofcare.com or call 855-45-ANGEL for more information. Get your halos on.
If you've been in an automobile accident or have vehicle damage, S&L Collision Center is the body shop to call for all your auto body repair needs. Larry Hallmark and family have been in business for many years. They are honest and do exceptional work. I have had all of my vehicles repaired by them and have always been satisfied with their work. So if you're in the need for auto body repair, call S&L Collision Center at 580-924-5958. Blackburn Plumbing and Air provides high-quality plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services in Durant, Oklahoma, and throughout the Texoma region. With a proven track record for getting exceptional results, they are ready to take on even the most challenging plumbing and HVAC issues.
Contact them at 580-775-1779 to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back.
Hello.
We had a little break. You guys heard from some of our lovely, amazing businesses in our community that support us, and we were able to think of some more questions for Christy. We have so many. We're probably not going to get to all of them, but Dee Dee brought up a really good one about this, kind of like a personal question for her, because Tad is needing physical therapy.
Yeah, he attends physical therapy and it's great, but he, attention span wise, it's not something he wants to do. So it's things that we have to do little increments of those lessons that they give us throughout the day, and he'll do them. But I was asking Christy, is there anything like in the pool that could strengthen his ankles overpronate and hips are weak and they'll get out of alignment, and so he'll have to get adjusted. And so is there anything like that could benefit him, that you can think of from in the pool? Like, what are some ideas I could do maybe?
So one idea you could do to work with his ankles and his legs is to put flippers on him, because that provides an opportunity to have some
Great idea.
resistance,
and
it kind of forces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
You
do
wear 'em?
whatever.
If you let him shop for them and buy them and put them in the cart, and
He'll
they're
just
so
wear 'em.
fun. He might wear them out
He
of the
probably
water.
will like.
Right?
He probably
Around the
will like.
house.
Yes.
If you see Tad in town in flippers.
It's all for a good cause. It
love it.
creates an opportunity for resistance
Yeah.
and a forced motion for his legs to be in that position where
Yeah.
they're spread apart, because he's not going to want them to. He will
Oh,
not like that.
yeah.
You can get behind him and guide
Yeah.
him, and then let him practice. But also on his hips, you could put a noodle, like a thick noodle, under his hips and raise him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then have him kick some more.
Yeah.
And I would do it
I
on
could
his
see where that would strengthen
I
tremendously.
was just gonna say, I think about times I've been in the water with Owen, and I thought I was just like, having a relaxing day in the pool, and the next day I'd be really sore.
Yeah, it's
because
a lot.
it is strengthening.
It
Just
is.
being in the water, moving against the
There's
pressure and the weight of the water
Yeah.
is strengthening. So that's a really good
Yeah,
idea.
great idea.
Yeah.
So another reason to get a pool, right?
Another reason to get a pool. Get a
Yeah.
pool, yes, with a heater. But yeah,
Did you hear that, Mike?
That's
Yeah.
right. He's
DD's
on
husband.
board.
Yeah.
He's more on board than I
Okay,
am.
good.
I'm like, it's so expensive, but
No.
it's in the long run. I see the
It's good.
benefit. Yeah.
I know your son is tall.
Yes.
How
5'11".
Okay, how deep is your pool going to be?
I don't know.
One great thing for hips and legs and just strengthening from like the toes all the way through the core is what we call vertical kicking, and I do it across my pool widthwise, but it just strengthens so much, and that would help with his hips as well.
So you would suggest what, like,
vertical kicking,
you would want him to have his head out?
head out like this is
Just
his
one
head.
head. I mean, sorry, just one.
I mean, if he has two heads,
Just
we have to have another
I meant,
conversation.
like shoulders,
Shoulders
in.
up. Yeah.
I knew what you meant. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yes.
length, not two head lengths.
Yes. Sorry. Just one. We knew. So yes, vertical like this, like his head is up, like this is his head,
Okay.
and his legs are here, kicking down here.
But where's the water?
The water
level?
is like shoulder and below.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I asked
wouldn't
how
go,
deep your
I
pool is.
wouldn't. I'm not going to go any deep than his shoulders.
No. His head needs to be up for this.
Okay.
Because he's using his
Isn't your
core.
pool? Your pool's not.
It's 5.5 in the middle,
What is it at the deep end?
3.5 and 4.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
I thought about
and you did it
going
like that
4
on
to
purpose.
5.5.
Yes.
I remember that now, thinking, okay, you did. So because I've always thought, why do you need a deep end? Like, unless you're going to be diving
Yeah.
or whatever. But
For us,
if
it
you're
wouldn't. He
not,
wouldn't use it.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
worry about.
It would be like his head's above the water, his shoulders are in the water, and he's using his core and leg
Yeah.
muscles
Yeah.
to move through the water, kicking under. His legs are under him. I can
gonna
send you a
love it.
video. Vertical
Yeah.
kicking, like just think vertical position. It's like walking or running through the water. He's going to be pushing and pulling
Yeah,
that water.
that's what
with
he
his
does
legs.
anyway.
So yeah, that's really good for that.
He just walks around and then he'll swim under.
But get him where he's not touching the bottom
Oh, okay.
for that vertical
Got
kicking.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it with flippers
I
on
think that'd
and
be
flippers
really good
off.
for Owen too.
Yeah, it'd be really
Yeah.
good for Owen. Yeah. It just strengthens so much.
Yeah.
And works so many muscles, and yeah. So those
Great
are two things you
idea.
can do. But
so
also
see, there's so many tips
there
like
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
that you could do in the water because they love it anyway.
And it's going
And
to
you
create
probably
resistance.
would get a lot more out of your
So much
therapy.
faster in the water.
I think so too. Like,
I know we would
I
personally.
agree. I know for Owen it would be like that too. So I know that we have a lot of parents who are listening and they're local, and they can actually email you, right?
Yes.
To set up swim lessons for their
Yes.
child, and they don't have to be on the spectrum, but if they are,
Right.
she's certified.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in lessons with Christy, and we'll go over this again at the end, but her email address is Christy, Chrissty, at texomaswimacademy.com. and email her and get those lessons set up, because she books up really quick, don't
Yeah.
you? Especially with spring and
Yes,
summer.
I just added a third
approaching.
instructor
Yeah.
this year
Okay.
because our schedule fills up so quickly. Yeah.
And so I know, like, we've gathered so much knowledge from you for Owen, but if we have parents listening who just are maybe wanting to work on some things at home, maybe aren't able to do lessons, what are some tips that you have for them and for
great
us?
idea.
Good. I'm glad you asked. So one of the great things about swim angelfish is they are great on educating their instructors and their partners. So they have a free YouTube video
Nice.
that parents
And we
can
can
watch. I can
post
click
that
you
in
to
the-
it. Yes.
We'll post it in the
So what I'm going to do is share
comments.
with you the parent tips they share on
Okay,
there
good.
just quickly, because they have an acronym, PARENTS, PARENTS, and these are tips for swim success for cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, anxiety, ADHD, and I would
Nice.
expand that to sensory processing and whatever needs you have. I'm going to start with this and then move to my phone. But for P, they talk about the properties of the water, and for some parents who don't know the properties of the water, it's so important to know that surface tension and breaking the surface of the water is really intentional for these kiddos.
Sure.
It
Oh,
gives
really?
them sensory input.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never even thought about that.
So one thing I can give you outside of this is we do now what's called heavy work. I learned in some aquatic therapy training. Heavy work helps with ADHD and just regulation in general. So one of the things we do with our older kids or some boys we call heavy work is they love it. We use dumbbells to swim laps, swim strokes. Like
Okay.
they're literally crashing the surface tension
See, I
every
can
stroke,
see
right?
Owen loving that.
Also with
Never
weights,
even
start out
thought
with a
about that.
3-pound weight. Get the rubber gripped ones
Okay.
and let them hold them. They love it. The boys especially. It's heavy work. If you look up
Yeah.
heavy work, okay, there's that.
Okay.
So breaking the surface tension is so important for these kiddos because it provides sensory input. Buoyancy. Buoyancy gives physical impaired swimmers the ability to float and move. What I do with all my ASD kiddos and my sensory kiddos, and if I know they have ADHD, is allow them some what I would call water exploration time first. And some parents may think I'm not teaching, but
they're learning
They're
the-
learning how
the
to feel
environment,
it.
yeah.
Yes, and I'll take a few steps back. I'm always going to be within arm's reach for
Sure.
safety, but let their feet feel the bottom, or maybe not. Let them feel with the wall how their body feels with the buoyancy, because in order for them to engage in a learning environment, they have to feel safe and confident in that buoyancy
Right.
feeling. And for a lot of them, it's a different feeling.
Well, they don't have the frame of reference like we do. We've
Right.
been in a swimming pool, a lake, a beach, or
Right.
whatever multiple times, and
Yeah.
they haven't.
They haven't. So that if you don't allow for some of that self-exploration, that feeling in the buoyancy can cause anxiety.
Yeah.
And then they get fearful, and then they get restless, and then they become difficult to instruct or
Sure.
guide.
And then they don't want to come back.
Yes. So allowing for self-exploration has been very beneficial for me.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
for
could
parents
see
who are
that.
starting to go to the pool or the lake, be within arm's reach of them, show them the side, let their legs and waist feel the water, and then guide them towards feeling the motion of the water, right? Let them feel it.
And we know, like, as Owen's this way, I don't know if Chad is, but like, it's got to be his idea
Oh, yes.
anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So I think just having that time to let them explore, it's
I would
like,
completely
it's his
understand
idea.
It's
that.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Control.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like so many of these kids are in therapy sessions in controlled environments so much of their
Yes.
days. Give them a moment to have
Yeah.
their own
Yes.
therapy.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Give them their own
Yeah.
control. And then hydrostatic pressure is another part of properties of water, which is that feeling they get why they go underwater.
Okay.
I actually had a kiddo tell me, Miss Baca, I love swimming because it feels like a big hug.
Yeah.
Well, even kids who don't have a diagnosis.
Yeah.
Every person loves it because our skin is the largest organ of our body.
Yeah.
And it's just getting all that input. And so kiddos with ASD are going to want to go deeper and deeper
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the hug is so much better.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the pressure just feels good to them.
Yeah.
So some
Never
actually
thought of
some may
that.
want to go 3, some may want to go 5, some may want to go 8 feet. Your Owen may want to go to the very middle of your pool, and it feels good to him. It's a
Yeah.
hug. It's a physiological response in
Yeah.
your body,
Yeah.
and so they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we have to teach safe entry.
Yeah.
And surface and rolling over so that they know, okay, when I'm
To breathe,
tired,
yeah.
I gotta
And we
roll over
couldn't
and rest.
get Owen to the rollover part just yet, but we're gonna work on it again.
Well,
hopefully this summer.
that takes a while
It takes some
because
time.
it's
Yeah.
That
it's like
Moro reflex.
free-
He doesn't even like to do that, like in the bath. Even in the shower, it's hard to get him. Like when I rinse his hair, he's holding his head like this, and I try to teach him, like, if you hold it back,
Yeah,
like
it
this,
won't
and
get in
Mom
your
is really
face.
careful,
Yeah.
the water won't get in your face.
Yeah.
But so he doesn't like to lay back in the water anyway. But we've got to get there eventually because I
have
love
some
the
tricks for
idea.
you. That Moro reflex is so complicated for kiddos, even those that are not on the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Well,
To
to
be
be
on
out
your
of
back.
control of your body.
Yes. Yeah, to have your
basically.
head back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like Tad on the massage table to go back, I have to like hold his head because he's always like
Yeah. What's
Really?
coming? Yeah.
resisting. And then he's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. You
that
It's
know.
going to be
makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness, the A part of parents. Oh, did I go? I talked enough about the water,
Buoyancy.
properties of water. I want to review them really quickly before I move
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
There's
that's okay.
surface tension, buoyancy, hydrostatic pressure, which is the
Yes.
calming feeling.
Yep.
Then the A part of the parent acronym is awareness.
Okay.
Get comfortable with the rescue tube or some sort of rescue item. It may be a noodle, it may be a rope, something that you familiarize them with and you teach them to use.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing with identifying the different levels of water in the pool that they're in. Like this is the shallow end, this is the deep end. This is where we get in the water.
Okay.
This is where we get out of the water. Okay. So spatial awareness to the water environment, any water environment, like when you go to the lake,
Yeah.
teaching Owen about the dock and where it ends and the importance of the life jacket. You know, it's deep here. Our feet can't, you
Yeah.
know, awareness of the water so that we have respect for the water.
You had used talking about the pool noodle or whatever you had used, which I think is still at my house somewhere, but it's safe in one of our little
I have another one. just so you know.
containers.
Yeah.
But it was a beach ball, but you had
yes.
said don't inflate it all the way.
Yes.
And I never realized that, and it's such a great device for him to, like, you know, because they want to roll over on the beach ball on their belly, but
Yeah.
if it's blown up all the way,
They
they just kind of
can't.
fall over.
Yes.
But if you
Great idea.
leave it a little deflated,
You
and
can
it made
hold
such a huge difference.
Good. I'm glad
Yeah.
he's using that because that was a hard skill. We learned that in water training last year at my house, and that was difficult for grown-ups to do.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of strength.
Oh, yeah.
And to trust that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's using that.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, he
Good.
loves it.
Great idea.
And we use it at the lake too.
Yes,
so
it is
at
very
home,
good.
we have started letting him swim without his life
Yes,
jacket,
yeah.
as long as we're within reach
Right,
in the shallow
right,
end
right.
for 20,
Yes.
25 minutes or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
good.
that, and then put it back on him.
Yeah, I think that's good. He needs to learn.
And
I'm going
he
to
has
touch on
no
that.
fear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to
be-
talk about that with equipment.
Yeah, because I had one of my nephews was reliant on a life
yes,
jacket.
Yes.
And then they don't
And
know.
Tad's out there swimming, by himself, and
Yeah. It's
he's
really
older,
important.
and you're like,
Even with our neurotypical students that we teach, we teach kicking, right? Leg strength, endurance, proper techniques of kicking. We don't like to do a lesson where we only use flippers.
Yeah.
Flippers create a floating, like an aid in the,
Yeah.
propelling motion, right? Well, we always want to take off whatever we're teaching with,
Sure.
taper off,
so
that they
And
have the
let 'em
realistic
try it.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
The same thing with flotation devices, right? So you want them to know when you get in the water, it's safer, with a life jacket or, but you always want to spend, as much time as you can, with them not using that device, but also as little touch as you can have. Obviously, you don't want to release a non-swimmer, but
Right.
training them to feel the water without your
Without
assistance is so important because
Sure.
they'll learn faster. They're going to figure out how to move their body in the water with your instruction. The less you touch, the quicker they're going to learn how to adapt to that feeling and that way of being safe in the water. Yeah. Routines. Create a routine of asking to get in the water, even in the bathtub.
Oh my gosh. This one's big for all of our
so
parents listening
big.
right now.
Routines. And I will share with you, I'm a new grandmother. Yes, I'm
Yes,
a
and
Gigi.
he's so cute.
And Archie is wild.
I love that
raised-
name.
Oh, he's precious.
He is.
He is so incredibly great, but he has this enormous amount of energy and speed. The boy is fast, y'all. And I made it a point to create rhythms in our day. I have him 2 afternoons a week. And so we have our routine of lunch, and then we play, and then we go upstairs and we take a bath so I can put lotion on him and he'll relax and go to sleep for a nap, right? Well, so I started this before he was even walking. So I would carry him up, and I would just say, okay, let's take a bath. Now our routine, when I'm going up the stairs, okay, Archie, we're going to take a bath. I let him down at the door of the bedroom. He runs to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he opens that curtain to the tub, and I say, wait for Gigi. You have to start the vocabulary with him. Ask to get in the water at the very beginning. Yeah. He's just 15 months, and he already knows to look at me and wait. Like, you just have to start the routine of vocabulary with wait to get in any body of water, right? So there's that. And then also,
that's so huge, though.
Yes, it's huge. A routine. Practice and plan transition times. Okay, you guys live in transition times, I'm sure. As a parent, yes. There's so many things they need to be warned of before it happens. This year, I'm super excited because I purchased a huge digital clock from.
Oh, nice!
I met a podcaster, swim nerd, who I would listen to, and I didn't know he was going to be at ASCA. And I was at Swim Angelfish's table, and he came over, and they were talking. They're like, "Oh, this is Swim Nerd," and I'm like, "What? That is him?"
How cool
and
is
he
that?
sells these large digital clocks for competitive swim.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm thinking,
yes, it's wonderful.
I'm always counting down, and I'm sure the kids would like to be, again, in control and have their own countdown.
Timers and
Clocks.
ABA therapy
Clocks.
because we actually do the little timers when they're doing any kind of activity to let them know
how much time.
Okay, this if it's a preferred activity, you've got this much time
Yeah.
So I have this huge green LED light digital.
Oh, very cool.
And it counts down. And so it'll be at the end of my pool this summer, and I am
cool.
That's
ecstatic
a
about
great
it.
idea.
So
That's nice.
for transitions, so I had a kiddo. Am I going over time?
No.
Okay. I had a kiddo last summer that we struggled with transitions, and he was also Spanish speaking and partial nonverbal. And so Dad and I worked quite a bit day 1 and 2 with this. We're going to get in the water here, get out, and we literally practiced for 8 or 10 minutes getting in and out, out, and then we had some playtime, right? And that's part of our instruction. Is creating transitions.
That's so
parents,
good,
don't forget routines are so important. Equipment. Use equipment when needed, like a life jacket. I think I talked about that a few minutes ago. Always be sure to have structured time without those things where you're giving them an opportunity to feel the water. Right? And teaching them how to feel the water and be safe in the water, practicing that back float with assistance. And with that, you can start at the waist on their back, right?
Okay.
Move your hand up, right?
Okay.
Stop at the shoulders and then release, or have 2 hands and 1 hand, just taper off of your aiding for them so they can feel it.
Yeah.
Use equipment as a tool, not a permanent solution is a big thing. And then always teach them reach or throw, don't go with equipment so that they know if someone's throwing something out to you, that's so they can pull you in. Right?
Not
Teach
to run
them
from it.
Not
or
to run from
dodge
it or resist it.
Yeah.
If a noodle comes at you and they say, grab the noodle, that's so someone can pull you into safety or pull you out of safety.
And that's a good thing to practice as well.
It is so good to practice that. Never give up. So I have a saying in my pool, and my kids know it, and I use it now in the classroom when I'm teaching. It's progress. Practice makes progress. I will never expect perfection from a kid because I'm not perfect at anything. And so
Nor should we.
I say it so often, practice makes progress. And I want them to know, and we give certificates every week, even if you don't finish a level of objectives, you're going to get a certificate that will remind you what skill you were great at or what attitude you were great at. Maybe there was a kiddo who was just extra resilient that week, but they didn't really master any skill. We're going to create something that reminds them they did have progress somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Because they came to practice every day, right?
Yeah, that's something
So,
huge.
Huge. Never give up. Every swimmer has the potential to swim. They're going to learn differently.
Yeah.
Even my kiddos that don't have a diagnosis or are neurotypical, I will adapt every lesson because they're not all the same.
It's all adaptive.
It literally is. And that is something that I love about being in the water is that, especially with equipment. And once I've learned, again, from some angelfish, they have a section on equipment use and how to use it. And it's just so freeing as an instructor to know I can think outside the box and create situations that make water safe kids.
I love that.
Let's see here. Never give up. Every swimmer has the ability to propel independently. Okay, propelling through the water is important. You've seen Owen's propelling. It may not look like any swim team member currently, but Owen can move through the water at Owen's
he really can.
ability, right? My Cat 6A friend Beckham, once he learned how to propel, getting him to do our, first 15 minutes of, warm up was horrifically difficult because he wanted to propel, right?
Yeah.
Why do I need to use the barbell? Why do I need to have strength training? Why do my arms need to be stronger? Well, because we're working on muscles, right? So every child can learn to propel at their own level and ability, and that's so important for parents to know. It may not look like the next child's, but it's your child's. T, the time of day, temperature of the pool. We were talking about that, Dee Dee. Can make a huge difference. I mean, indoor pools are going to create a different environment. Their temperature is going to be different. Outdoor pools. I have the, blessing of being able to heat my pool, from April to October. And even in the middle of summer, if it gets too hot, I have a machine that can cool my water temperature down because it is really difficult to get productive teaching time in a really hot pool of water.
And we get those really hot.
We do in Texas.
Yep.
We get lots of hot weather. The water can get really hot, and it's really great to have an ideal temperature for them. Feel empowered to ask about the training of your staff. We're talking to parents right now. This is the T part, the time, temperature, and training. Parents, ask the person you're inquiring for some instruction, what training do you have? What knowledge do you have? Who do you have within your team that is going to be able to meet the needs of my child?
That's great. Yeah.
Whether they're special needs or not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
you need to know that.
You need to know that sensory processing, anxiety, behavior management, ADHD.
Right.
Every child comes with a need, right? Ask what training they have. If they don't have training, ask if they know someone who does, or call me, email me. I will send you tips or send you to someone who does.
Christy.
Christy
Swim
at
Academy.
Because
.com.
I'm an educator first, always. I want to empower and make everyone aware of things, tools they can use to be safer. Swim ideas. This is the S part of parents. I'm at the end of this. Take side. That is teaching your child to grab the side of the wall. That's a safety thing. I teach children as young as 18 months how to crawl out of the pool independently. We start with a little bottom push, but we teach them how to do elbow, elbow, knee, knee. Okay. Teach them that body strength and independent exit of the pool.
Yeah,
it's
that's so important.
Especially for autistic children who may find themselves nervous and they take side and then they're like, oh, great, now what do I do? They're going to forget. Teach them how to crawl out. It will be difficult with a larger child or with an older child, but get through that. It is so important that they know they can, and as a mom and dad, my child can get out of the pool by themselves. Underwater, identify facial parts. So we start with nose, mouth, eyes, nose, mouth, and lips. I mean, talk about the parts of the body. Talk about why it's important that our nose is pushing air out or our mouth is pushing air out or, whatever, which one, but one of them is pushing, air out, and talk about the importance of getting all those parts in the water. And I break them down even for all my kiddos, let's start with our lips. No, because that's overwhelming. Put your face in the water.
Slow and
now there are times I do an actual just quick submersion and it helps because it gets them past the fear of that water feeling. But then we break it down so they have the confidence to understand what each part is doing underwater. Reducing anxiety. Okay, this is so good. And I was able to do it last year with a kiddo who has a rare diagnosis. And we had her come to lessons with a cotton shirt on and long pajama pants. And that creates a little bit of weight on the body that gives them a comforting feeling in the water. Okay. Sometimes we might have kiddos come with socks on because it helps with the grounding feeling. Or we might put weights on their ankles if they need that grounding feeling. I don't think Owen would have ever received any of that, but he was always safe underwater, getting out. But a grounding effect for those kiddos can be really, really good.
And important
in helping progress. So
there was one
ahead.
quick question. You had suggested, and I hope that you remember this because it's been a few years ago, but you had suggested a pair, like a certain brand of goggles for kids. I know, and I can't remember now. So, or do you just have any tips on getting kids to wear? Because Owen
wear
will
goggles.
not wear goggles, but insists on his
Opening
eyes
them. Yeah.
being
That's
open
okay.
in the pool. They're red, irritated.
This is a good conversation. I require goggles because I want them to feel it, but also we do practice them without them. I've learned
I
in my
cannot get him to keep them
and that's
on.
okay. That's okay. What I will speak
never
to
wore
is the
goggles.
masks with a nose piece. We do not allow those.
Yeah, because they've got to learn
Yeah, I
that.
remembered
Well,
it being one that didn't have that, and I
Yes.
can't remember the brand. but
TYR
that was
is
that
a
was
great
it.
brand.
That was it.
So there's
I knew I'd
bridges.
remember if you said it.
Yeah, TYR, and I prefer, and the kids prefer, the bridges that are connected, not the ones that adjust. Okay, so it's just more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Oh, also there's I know what you're talking about, the ones with the neoprene strap.
Maybe.
I'm really frustrated
Maybe
right
that
now.
you
Are
can
they
try.
TYR also?
They are TYR.
I remember that it being that brand.
Froggles.
I do. Oh,
So,
okay, yeah. that was
Froggles.
it. I think no, seriously, that's
Yeah.
what the brand is. And
Froggles.
it's on your Instagram page.
Yes, I have a link tree on my Instagram page that'll take you
There
to
you go.
these. Yes. So Froggles created this neoprene strap that is so good because it stays on. I wish I had a
Yeah.
pair. I should have brought a pair. But it's great for all
we can
age
post
kids.
a picture
Post a
or
picture.
a link.
They stay on really well, and they have adjustable Velcro straps. And the kids love them
Nice.
because it's comfortable, right? It takes away the feeling of the one strap.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's a
pulling
really
on their hair or
it's a supportive neoprene head piece that stays on really well, and the goggles are sealed, and it just makes for an easier
yeah.
fit. And a lot of ASD kiddos and sensory kiddos don't like the feeling.
Yeah.
That takes away that feeling of the strap, and they stay on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely
So-
need to get those for Owen and try
Me too.
those.
Yeah. So I want to just real quick review the acronyms because I went through them really quickly.
That's okay.
The properties of water for P, A, awareness, R, routines, E, equipment, N, never give up, practice makes progress, T, time, temperature, and training, and swim ideas for S. So I
love
hope
that.
that is helpful. Also, one thing I want to say on safety is if a child is ever missing, always check the pool first,
Yes,
no matter where you
always.
are.
Check
Home,
Always.
vacation.
all bodies of water.
Always check it. Yep.
Yeah.
And if I can say something really quickly.
You
that's fine.
absolutely can. Yeah.
So I am partners with Collins Hope, which is it's a drowning prevention nonprofit.
What was
Start-
it again?
Collins Hope.
Collins Hope.
Cullen's Hope.
Yep. And it was started by parents who lost a son to drowning at the age of 3. And they provide me with what we call water safety tags.
Nice.
This tag comes off right here. It's perforated. It comes off,
Okay.
and a parent or family member can wear it. And it reminds the person, whoever's wearing it, that you are what we call the water watcher.
Yeah, you're on duty.
You're on duty, and I
wow.
give these to all my families.
I
Every
love
kid that
that.
comes through my gate gets one for every student. So
I
if you have
love
2
it.
kids,
I
you're going to get 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this with y'all.
Okay.
Another thing is, Collins Hope did a bathtub awareness, drowning awareness in January.
Oh.
January is bathtub
Yeah.
drowning awareness month.
Okay.
I did not know that.
And they created these new decals for bathtubs that you can purchase on their website, or I'm
Nice.
happy to
That
find some
time
for
with
you.
Betty.
2 inches under 2. If you have a child you're bathing, your water level in the bathtub should be under 2 inches.
Oh wow.
Right?
You
And
just
Wow.
need, because you just need enough water
Yeah.
to bathe them with. They don't need to be
Right, right.
submerged
Right.
or
right.
Taking that
And
whirlpool.
yeah.
Yes.
Right. Owen likes to do that.
Yeah, they just want to be in the spa all the time.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't? The water
Right.
feels great.
Yeah.
But also they remind us to avoid distractions. Have everything ready before you get in there.
Yes.
And then
Don't
of course,
leave 'em.
don't leave them. But also drain the tub immediately. I drain it when we're getting out.
We've done that before when Owen was smaller. Like you're in a hurry, or maybe like, you know, you're just multitasking, and then you forget to drain the
Yep.
water,
Yep.
and then like he went back in to try to get into it. And I
Yeah.
didn't even think about there being
Yes.
water in
In
the
the water.
tub.
In the tub, yeah.
That was when he was
Yeah.
2 or 3. So
Yeah.
that's been years ago.
That's-
But
I could see that.
That's back my routines, and I may be a little bit on the spectrum. I don't know, and I mean that very respectfully.
Right.
I'm very
We
OCD
all
about
are.
the water
Yeah.
in the bathtub. So Archie and I have a routine.
Yeah.
So I started working with him on that more reflex in the bathtub to lay back.
Yeah.
And now he is comfortable laying on his back.
That's so good.
Right, in the bathtub. So at the end of our bath time, we rinse, and then I say, okay, buddy, time to clean up. We fill a little basket with toys, right?
Yeah.
Then I pull the basket out, and I say, pull the plug. And I take his hand, we pull it, turn it, and he loves to watch that water go down.
Oh,
the
yeah.
drain.
Yeah.
Listen to it
Yeah.
drain, whatever, however long you want to do it. But make that drain pull part of your routine,
Yeah. I
and
love
it
that.
helps.
Yeah, great
and
idea.
they may remind you, pull the tub, Mom,
Yeah.
pull the
Yeah.
plug, Mom.
Or they'll do it.
They'll do it. If
They'll
you
do
start
it, and
teaching
that's
them
great.
part of that's the end.
I love that.
Then we get out, right? So I hope that's helpful for y'all.
Very helpful.
That's
Yeah.
progress.
It's
and
amazing.
practice
That's
makes
progress.
progress.
Yeah,
I
practice
love
makes
that.
progress, yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
And I
for
appreciate
coming
you
on.
always
Yeah.
answering any weird questions. When
Oh,
they
weird?
I mean,
Are you
she's
kidding
so
me?
informative. Anything she
for
can do to
sure.
help, it's like you just provide. You just.
Yeah. I'm always happy
We're
to
so
help.
happy.
And I'm always happy to send you on if I can't. If I don't know an
Right.
Yeah,
answer,
you're quick to
I'll go
redirect
get an
or
answer.
recommend someone.
Or I will recommend you out because I don't want to give an inaccurate
Yeah,
answer.
she's got the resources.
I have
folks.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So find her on what is your Instagram handle?
Texoma Swim Academy
Texoma Swim Academy
and
on-
Facebook
and
as well.
Facebook as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and also
And if you're local and you want to have lessons,
yeah,
you
come to
can
me.
email
your
her.
actual location.
I I don't give my address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's at
But
my
it-
house,
but
but it's in Sherman.
It's in
But
Texas.
It's in Sherman,
Sherman,
North Texas. Yep.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And you can email Christy at texomaswimacademy.com. Well, thank you, Christy.
Yes,
Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
so much
Christy.
for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mighty Moms, we're signing off.
Connect with us on our Mighty Moms socials, submit your topic ideas, and share it all.
Follow us at Mighty Moms Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Also, visit our website at mightymomspodcast.com. And remember, together we are a worldwide cult of Mighty Moms. I heard a sneaky snake. I'm a sneaky snake.